Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Frontline with Joe and Joe. Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello. And once more, dear brothers and sisters, let us go into the breach. Joe, I just want to play you Larry Kudlow, and I want to come back for some comments because there's a lot going on with the debt ceiling and everything else. So let's give a listen.
Inflation Reduction Act. Do I get that right? Yeah, Inflation Reduction Act, which it wasn't. She said, guess what? Wait for it. Hold on a second. It was really a climate bill. Don't you love that? Had nothing to do with inflation. And then one of the Wall Street firms repriced it. It's not costing $300 or $400 billion. It's costing $1.2 trillion, which is more inflation for a climate bill that was supposed to be an inflation reduction bill. I mean, how utterly stupid is that?
Listen, Larry, we knew it when they were moving it through the House. We kept telling the media, stop calling it this silly name that the Democrats gave it because they are lying to you. That bill was the Green New Deal's little brother. That's what that bill really was.
Yes.
The radical Democrats wanted more. They wanted more stuff, if you could believe that. But the subsidies in that bill are going to be far more expensive. The tax increases on oil production is going to be far more onerous, and Americans are the ones who suffer.
Treasury Secretary, she said.
Joe, don't we always suffer, Joe? Don't we always suffer?
Because they don't care. And that's what people have to get. And that includes Republicans. The globalists are all about this. Ideology comes before people. We're seeing this in a more exaggerated way in Europe and in Canada, and it's coming our way. The Republicans are just as bad because they shouldn't have signed off on it. He's 100% right. That's not propaganda. This is not about helping people. They've embraced the goals, the 2030, 2035 zero emission goals of the globalists at any cost. If it costs you more money, tough. They'll just lie and spin it, and the press will continue to lie, and everyone will point fingers and blame each other. Meanwhile, it's full steam ahead, and who's the loser? The people.
Well, that's why I mentioned the debt ceiling talks, because you know that they're all lying about that too, particularly the left, okay? McCarthy, I don't think, is being completely straight up with everybody. That's why about 40 Republicans are not signing the debt deal. All right, the deal on the debt ceiling. At least as of this recording, they're not signing that. And it's the same thing. They're seeing something that they're saying, wait a minute, there's something wrong there. But when you point that out, let's say with the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, to say, hold it, this isn't going to reduce inflation. They get their talking heads like Janet Yellen and the rest of them go up there in front of Congress. No, it's going to reduce inflation. We promise, because it's going to do this and that and that. And then it turns out it's all lies. But the problem is it's already passed. And now we're suffering. When are people going to open up when are they going to open their eyes, Joe?
Joe, I'll be honest. Like I said, I've said this on other podcasts. I actually think they want us to bicker because the ultimate fight is the people against the establishment. People don't see it clear enough. You are getting, I've said this a million times, you're getting flushed down the toilet too, Democrats. You are.
Right.
You are, unless you are rich, and it doesn't matter. And I mean really rich. You're getting financially flushed down the toilet too. So let's put down our differences for a moment and get our country back.
Right.
How does that sound? How about we just get our country back? Because we don't have it back.
No.
We are in a pure oligarchy. The Uniparty runs the whole country. And frankly, all the rest of it is lip service.
Yep.
That's why I'll be honest with you, Joe. I don't get caught up in it anymore. It's frankly just a sad sight to behold.
Joe, do you know what? And again, not because we look for any political saviors, we don't. But there are people who are in politics who think like we do. All right. See that Byron Donalds there from Florida? He's a good congressman. He's not voting. He voted against the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. He's voting against, or at least as of this recording, he's voting against the debt ceiling deal. Okay. If we had a Congress, if we had a Republican Party that thought like him and voted like him, we could get back on some firm ground. Just don't talk to me about LGBT BS. Don't talk to me about abortion. Okay. That now belongs to the states. or as far as abortion is concerned. Don't talk to me about any of that. Don't talk to me about climate change. Okay, don't talk to me about that. I don't want to hear about that. We need to talk about reducing our debt in a serious way. We need to talk about reining in spending in a very serious way, or else we're going to bury our kids. Joe, these guys, whenever you say, what about our kids?
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care because they're rich, Joe. If you're worth $15 million, $25 million, they're not getting buried.
No.
You all are.
Right.
You see, that's the point. The Republicans are just as bad. Like, they're just as bad. We have to get our country back. We have to take money out of politics. Until then, I'll be honest with you, it's just they want us distracted.
Right.
It's just a distraction. And when people do shake the tree, notice what happens. Both parties go out against them because it's a good deal for them. It's not a good deal for us. People have to wake up. Sadly, they're just spoon-fed frigging talking points on both sides of the aisle, whether it's Fox or CNN. It's all a bunch of talking points that doesn't help people. America has to return back to people. Until then, guys, I got news for you. It doesn't matter who the president is. Nothing's going to change.
Well, let me tell you something. They could say what they want about Donald Trump. You know why I know Trump at the very least was on the right track? Not because the left hated him, because many on the right hated him.
Well, that's truth. And to be honest with you, you take a guy like Tucker Carlson. He aggravated the uniparty. What happened? He's gone.
Right.
Both people, Tucker, they're not demigods. Don't misunderstand me. My point is they shook the tree. You're not allowed to shake the tree.
Right.
And if you do, they come at you. Both sides come at you. That's how you know you're on the right track. If both parties are coming at you, you're doing something right.
Joe, as my 83-year-old Italian mother would say, hey, no shaking the tree. No shaking the tree. But yeah, if you want to get in trouble, that's what you do. Thanks for joining us here at the Front Line with Joe and Joe. Stick around for more content.